Testing 1, 2, 3. We are live. How's it going, guys? Let me adjust my my mic and my camera here. Happy New Year! Happy New Year! We're live on Rumble and on YouTube. My name is Jason J. Daniel. This is the Jason J. Daniel Show. Um, Sorry, guys, I have to make some adjustments here. I was sorry, trying to keep the noise level down. New to podcasting, so a lot of what I'm doing is very new. I'm trying to not break all the rules, but still be original, be creative, be me. And so thanks for joining me. While we do this, I'm going to jump on real quick and make sure that our audio is rolling on X. On X, I have to double check it. Stand by here just to make sure. So you'll hear that because we're streaming live right now. You'll hear my double check it. Sounds good. Okay, you'll hear my voice there. Sorry about that. So we're streaming live on YouTube, Rumble, and X, and we're reaching a combined on all of my platforms. Then the show is repurposed and packaged and dropped, so we reach over 20,000 followers and subscribers. I know it's pretty crazy. But speaking of crazy, I just had to jump on because obviously we all tried to have a nice New Year's, but terror has struck the United States. Terrorists are still alive and well. There are sleepers, obviously, in the United States. It's affected everything in the United States today. I know you're probably aware of the attacks. We'll talk about it. I'll show you some things, give you my opinion, my traditional conservative libertarian ideas on what's going on. You should not be afraid. That's what they want you to be. The last thing you need to be is afraid of terrorists. You need to be vigilant. You need to be on guard. You need to be aware. Your eyes need to be definitely opened. Definitely need to be double checking the things that you do, places you go in areas that are heavily populated, like obviously LA, New York, New Orleans, San Francisco, Las Vegas. Those are clear areas in Washington, D.C. Those are areas that terrorists like to definitely try to target. So let's just recap. Let's talk about this. I will tell you what we know that is factual. I will give you my opinion when I think it's necessary. You're smart. If you're watching this, you're obviously accessing social and you're on platforms that are giving you information. If you're watching it on X, you're very educated. Obviously, YouTube is not where the smart people get their info. I'm just sorry. I'm sorry to say, but you on YouTube, you're definitely going to get information. Rumble, obviously, I'm new to Rumble. I don't really know how good all the information is on Rumble, but if you're on Rumble or YouTube or X, you're obviously seeking truth. And you've probably had enough time to figure out things for yourself. So I'm not going to try to put stuff in your mind or words in your mouth, but I am going to try to help break down some of what's going on today for you. So that being said, let's just jump right in and talk about what's going on. So I will share my screen and let's just jump in. Let me see here. Let's start right here. Let's start with the Cybertruck guy. This is obviously on X. Oh, let me jump. I got to present right now. Here we go. So here's the Cybertruck guy. His ID survived, which is crazy. Okay. So we'll get to his name in a second. I don't quite. Oh, is it right here? It's J. Is it? I don't. Matthew, something like that. I don't quite have his name memorized. We'll get into it. Clearly, he's not that important to society because he tried to be a killer. He tried to hurt people. He only killed himself. So, there you go. So thank God that he wasn't able to take anyone with him. According to the news stories we're seeing, and I'm sure that you have seen, nothing survived in that wreck completely, except for some of the weapons. The Cybertruck itself, pretty sturdy. It survived fairly well, but his ID and his passport survived. So for some reason, we were able to know exactly who he is. That's wild. That's wild. They also said they found, because he's a former Green Beret. I don't have the total profile of the guy, so I'll break down as much as I have or I can remember it from my reading. But he's an ex-military guy. The Cybertruck guy is definitely unhinged. These two terrorists that attacked yesterday, or I guess earlier this morning, right? No, yesterday. Sorry, they're unhinged motherfuckers. Even though they're they're thinking that they're thinking straight. You're not thinking straight when you're trying to kill people. You're just not. You're in a death cult. You have surrendered yourself to a power that's essentially taken you over. And if you're going to execute these steps with intentionality to try to murder people and create chaos, you're clearly unhinged. So this cat was unhinged. He spent a lot of years in the military, I think around 19 years, 18 years, a Green Beret, well versed in explosives. So a lot of the questions people have tonight is, how does a guy so good with explosives fail so miserably at trying to use explosives? Apparently he didn't think it through on the Cybertruck. The Cybertruck did not completely implode, which was an incredible thing. No one knew that it would survive that. It pretty much did. He put a bunch of explosives in it and just kind of a whole, I guess, a cornucopia of anything that would blow up. And the only thing that pretty much blew up was the back of the truck and him. The authorities are saying that his body was completely burnt beyond recognition. So whatever that means. But let's go right now to the actual explosion, which is pretty crazy. I'll show you that. Let's go here. And this is wild. Check this out. Here's some video from that. Here we go.
Copy.
That's crazy. That's wild.
Copy.
He's saying copy. Oh, I need to stop that sound there. Hold on, guys. Got a lot. Okay, here I got a lot of stuff going on my screen here. Let's queue up this is an interesting video here. Okay, this is inside. Let me share this one. This is inside of here we go. Sorry, guys. This one is actually inside of the Trump casino. Check this out. That's after the explosion, clearly. Look at that. Whoa. Wow. Wow. So there are more explosions and fireworks were in there. Wow. Now that must be that right there. If I was in here, I would be like, hey, what else is going to happen? This must have been pretty terrifying. Somebody now he shows me, he's like, what's going on? What the fuck? He thinks the battery blew. This guy, whoever's taking this record. Now, first of all, you're fired. Batteries don't do that. Okay, check this one out.
I just heard a boom.
I just heard a boom.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I heard that boom too, but I didn't know it was actually outside. I thought it was a person in the hallway.
You thought it was a person in the hallway just blowing up?
Dear Dr. K,
it's funny what people think in the moment, right?
I was teased because of my team. I didn't like the person.
So I'm assuming maybe they're in a hotel or a hotel across.
That's a lot of smoke.
That's a lot of smoke, he says.
Another one I heard.
So this goes on for a few
minutes.
Like
a boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
And I heard another.
And it almost sounded like a rolling, like garbage dumpster.
Yeah.
Interesting that he thought it sounded like a garbage dumpster. And then here is a photo outside of the chaos. So pretty crazy. Mr. Cybertruck guy blew himself up. He didn't make it. The authorities also said later on today apparently, um, he put a gun to his head, or somehow he was shot and he died. So the question is, was it the chicken or the egg? Was he killed before the bomb went off? Did he shoot himself? Did someone shoot him? You just it's a lot of speculation, but anything is possible. Anything is possible. There are conversations that possibly the Cybertruck was, maybe he was killed before, put in the Cybertruck. Okay, this is a possibility. And because you can remote control these things, if you have a Tesla or a Cybertruck, there is a question: was he murdered somewhere else and then remotely driven to park right in front of the Trump Tower? Crazy. In the explosion video, which I didn't quite show that, I didn't show the full explosion video. You've probably seen it. There's a valet standing there off to this side, and he survived it, or he or she. It's hard to tell, but crazy. They survived that explosion. Pretty wild. So, according to the authorities, again, this guy's military, and he uh, was stationed at Fort Bragg, or he had been to Fort Bragg a number of times, along with this other gentleman who, I guess I shouldn't call him a gentleman. He's a mass murderer, so I shouldn't call him that. I guess I'm just trying to be polite. My bad. This psycho killer, the other guy, who was from Texas. So let's talk about this guy, Mr. I don't have his name right in front of me. He'll say it for you here. Let's check this out. Interestingly enough, there was some video online of him doing some sort of a presentation for his job or for his business. And at this point, he was called the suspect. Now we know he has been identified as the murderer, the mass killer. Here we go. Who killed because he was supporting ISIS.
Good evening. I'm Shamsuddin Jabbar. I just want to say hello and let you know a little bit about me. So I'm born and raised in Beaumont, Texas, and now live in Houston. And
this guy was from Texas. Think about that. An American from Texas.
I've been here all my life, with the exception of traveling for the military, where I spent 10 years as a human resources specialist.
Shadud Ding Jabbar. And he was in the military for a long time as well. He did 2 or 3 tours, I believe.
An IT specialist, where I learned the meaning of great service and what it means to be responsive and take everything seriously, dotting I's and crossing T's to make sure that things go off without a hitch.
Well, I'll say this. He was really able to do that. He was able to definitely make sure that things went off without a hitch. In order to pull off the attack that he pulled off. Now, from obviously eyewitnesses, video, all these things that come together, it's interesting because everybody has camera phones, right? And there was a lot of camera phones, I'm assuming, out there. None of that video is hit X. None of that video is hit. And it is interesting because when that stuff goes down, one, a lot of people want to be paid for that video because it's exclusive stuff. It's going to go viral. Two, some of it's pretty graphic and people don't feel good about sharing it, of course, because it's tragic, of course. And three, sometimes the police will take your stuff. You're a witness, they're going to take your phone, and then they will allow certain things to be released as though it's helpful for them. So we haven't seen a lot of that video, but I haven't done a lot of searching as well. I'm sure that probably you guys could find some stuff I missed. But this cat is a filthy monster killer. And according to what they're telling us, now look, innocent until found dead with an ISIS flag on the back of your truck at a terrorist event. But I think this guy pretty much is guilty as fuck. And for some reason, he was radicalized. Two guys that served in our military for a number of years. We're talking double-digit years. The one guy was a special forces. They're kind of describing him as a Rambo guy, a guy with the Cybertruck guy, a guy with very good weapon skills. He was an expert in explosions and bombing, which doesn't make any, they're saying the way it looked was kind of amateurish, which could be a red herring, who knows, to throw people off. And then you've got this other guy, Mr. Jabbar, who was not necessarily a warrior per se, was an IT guy, a tech guy, a human resources guy, but had the skills to pull off an attack that takes a lot of in order to pull this kind of attack off for both guys, a lot of things have to go right. Have you seen London Has Fallen with Gerard Butler, one of my favorite movies of all time? And there's a terrorist attack in London, and he's trying to get the president out. And at this point, they're successful. They're escaping. Spoiler. And they're in the air, and they're in a Air Force Two helicopter. I guess that's what you call it. And Gerard is the head of Secret Service. He's with the president. They're in there, and the chaos had already ensued. I mean, all these people had been killed. A huge attack. They had barely escaped. There was a car chase. Good movie. You got to watch it. One of the best. And great action movie. And there's kind of a moment where there's a break between the action and the storytelling is like, okay, we're going to reset this and give you what the characters are thinking in this, like, because it had been like 20 minutes of chaos to this point, and they're talking, and the president looks at Gerard Butler and says, his character, and says, how did they pull this fucking thing off, man? This is insane. And Gerard Butler says, well, they only have to get it right. He says there's a lot of things that have to go right to make this happen. And he said, and the president said, something to the effect of, well, how did that happen? And he says, well, they just got a lot right. Like that's pretty much what happens. All these things, I don't think that Mr. Jabbar planned on killing 15 people. I think he planned on killing 150 people. I think he planned on killing much more people, and only so much of it went right, and what he got was what he got. Mr. Cybertruck had planned on obviously killing people. He only killed himself. So we get lucky when they don't do exactly what they accomplished, because think about this. They've been planning this for years. Both these guys were planning this for years. You don't plan this in 30 days. You don't put all these things together in 30 days because there are red flags in our system. How do you get all those explosives? You don't go down to Lowe's and Home Depot and buy them all in 13 days. There's red flags for that. Our government has all sorts of red flags on what you buy, where you buy it, when you buy it, and how soon you buy it together. That's how they catch people. So they know to buy these things in different places, travel. Mr. Jabbar was in Texas, rented the truck there on some sort of an app. I know that sounds like, okay, boomer, but they rented it on an app. You rent the truck, and he drove the truck to New Orleans and planned the attack in Texas, but executed the attack in New Orleans. You only need so many things to go right, and in order to get some of your plan done. And this cat, he did some serious damage. 35 people injured. Who knows if other folks are going to pass away, but 15 people confirmed dead. They were able to identify at least, I think, 3 to 4 of the victims at this point. And unfortunately, they're all young people at this point. Now, when I said unfortunately, I don't mean, older people dying is any better. It's just super sad to see these young people, murdered by some fucking lunatic terrorists for no reason. No reason. There's no reason for this. No reason for this kind of violence. No reason for this kind of terror. But you've got lunatics that are sick in the head, and they're radicalized by sick fundamentalist Islamic psycho rhetoric. Let's just be honest. Fundamentalist Islamic rhetoric. Let's just be honest. Now, we don't know about the Cybertruck guy, but we do know if you could drive into a crowd and you have guns and you have bombs and you have an ISIS flag on the back, pretty much you're ISIS. Something interesting today, too. I'm not quite sure if this is verified, but this X account is an account that is fairly reputable. But there are indications that this cat here, Jabbar, donated a couple of bucks. You donated $20 to the Harris campaign. Act Blue is the Harris campaign folks that are the folks that work with the Harris campaign. Oh, by the way, we do have a live chat going. So if you guys are on and you want to jump in on the chat, go ahead. This is live right now. You're watching this live on X, YouTube, and Rumble. So appreciate you guys watching. We do have viewers right now. So yeah, so this cat, he definitely had a few bucks to spare. He probably put more money into bomb making and getting weapons, honestly, than giving to the Democrat Party. But I don't think that means much. Maybe it means something to you. I don't think that really means anything. It doesn't mean anything to me. But it is interesting. So speaking of interesting, here's something else that I think is quite interesting. We'll jump to this. The FBI lying to us. Listen to what this FBI special agent said right after the attack. We all know now this is a lie, and this wasn't a mistake. Look at the look in her eyes with intentionality. She's lying. Check this out. This is New Orleans.
This is not a terrorist event.
Really? Let's do this again.
This is not a terrorist event.
Really? Then what is it?
What it is right now
Tell us.
is their improvised explosive devices
What? That sounds like terror to me.
that was found. And we are working on confirming if this is a viable device or not.
What?
As Chief Kirkpatrick said, we're asking everyone to stay away from Bourbon Street, specifically from Canal Street to St. Anne.
Okay, so just for emphasis, let's listen to the lie again.
This is not a terrorist event.
Okay, it's a lie. I'm sorry, that's a lie. We just got to be honest. The FBI lied to us. This person working for the FBI came out and lied to us. Then later on, another, I forget who it was, maybe it was with the FBI. Someone else came out and said, this is terror. And then from there, people started to come out. It was almost like, okay, if somebody breaks the shell, then the rest of us can be honest. I mean, who's running the show there? I mean, look, I've never been in charge of an investigation of that magnitude. I understand it takes people by surprise. I understand there's a lot of shock in the air. I understand everybody is on the side of the terrorists when it comes to information. It blows my mind. Why don't you just come out and say, this looks like a fucking ISIS attack. There's a fucking flag. What do you expect everyone to do? Start blowing shit up? Like, why do we try to hide the fact that we have sleepers? We know we have sleepers. We've been dealing with this for 20 years. They're not always successful, but we know we have sleepers. So the ISIS sleeper was raised in Texas. He kills people in New Orleans and then goes to hell. Okay, that was exactly his plan. That's what their plan is. We know this. The FBI knows this. The CIA knows this. Every Homeland Security, we all know what these guys do. And in some cases, gals, mostly it's been dudes losing their shit and deciding to go out in a blaze of glory for the bad guys. But why do we protect the bad guys by not being honest? And I can appreciate you saying, hey, we're not sure. That's all I'm asking. You can say, we're not sure about this, but instead you go out and say, it's not terror. Well, does that make us feel better? Oh, do you feel better? You feel better? No, that makes it even worse to say, well, it's some random guy deciding to try to kill 100 people, but only killed 15 and injured 35 and had bombs and weapons and a weird flag that looks like terror. Hey, so what's better? Lying to the public has been going on too long by our government. I know I sound like that guy, but they've turned me into that guy. I sound like that guy because they've been lying to us. They lied to us about Joe Biden for 5 years. Come on. I knew when he won the election, when he went out there on the fireworks on election night, he looked completely out of it to me. He was always in the basement. He always has sunglasses on. What president wears sunglasses everywhere like he did? When you're high on drugs, you do. And the drugs he was on was to get him by. We now know the media conspired. The White House conspired. We know the deep state conspired. I'm that guy now. I'm sorry. Everything I see is a conspiracy because we know they lied to us. And most of the conspiracy theories over the last 4 years were fucking true. So now when the FBI comes out, we had a clear terrorist attack. And the FBI, the first thing they say is it wasn't a terror attack. When it's the sky is not green, the sky is blue. And that's psyop stuff. Now, maybe they've been trained to lie so much that they got to get it out of their system. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with you guys learning to get it out of your system, but stop fucking lying to the fucking American public, okay? Can we stop doing that? Now, here's something else that's really interesting. In a different press conference, you've got the governor here, okay? Check this out, man. This is him in the corner, okay, getting ready to go up to the podium to do his thing, to talk about the press conference. And look, now this is not my commentary that you're going to hear. I'm not specifically saying I agree with everything this person is saying, but just check out what's going on with this guy. We're talking about 15 dead people. We're talking about a terror attack. We're talking about God knows what's going to happen next. People are in fear, and this is what this
You cannot convince me that this man gives a shit about New Orleans or its people. You could see standing off to the side before the press conference. Jeff Landry was popping his collar and flashing that wide Louisiana grin like it was showtime for him, rather than the moment to address a tragedy.
He's excited.
He couldn't wait to step up to the podium and finally be somebody. Jeff, read the room.
He is excited, man. He is amped.
You cannot.
He is amped, man. I can't. He's amped that people are dead so he can have a press conference. He's amped that he's going to go viral. He knows he's going to be on television. He's going to be streaming for the entire world, and he's amped. It's pathetic. It's pathetic what's going on with the... And I'm not saying that Trump's going to change at all. I'm not. I don't know. Nobody knows. All we know is it's ridiculous, man. All we know is that it's insane that our public servants are extremely excited about getting up at a press conference where all these people lost their lives when they were just out trying to celebrate in your state, in your city, the jewel of Louisiana. They're out there celebrating Bourbon Street. Come on, man. New Orleans. And they're murdered by a terrorist. And all you've got is, hey, let me pop my collar like a G. I mean, I don't. Speaking of crazy, stupid stuff, check this out. We've got this one blew my mind. This is a reporter who, I guess they cracked the code and figured out the ISIS guy. They'll call him ISIS flag Jabbar. They found Mr. Jabbar's secret villainous hideout, which was in some sort of like random rental place. They kicked the door down, and somehow this reporter, dressed like she's going to an estate sale, okay, in yoga pants, it's all good. I guess when you're breaking into a dead terrorist home and you're going to take a look at what's up, this is the outfit. But anyway, goes in not looking like a reporter, probably how she got through, walks in and does a fucking home makeover review of this home after the feds raided it, showing you what's in it. Let me just play it, man. Here you go. Listen for yourself. Watch for yourself.
We're here inside the New Orleans terrorist home.
You can see that we're inside the terrorist home.
Clearly destroyed.
Here's the door.
At least from the FBI raid yesterday.
Let me just sneak in. Here's the door, guys.
We see some signs.
Look at the room. Isn't it gorgeous?
He was up to.
This is where terrorists watch movies.
Work area here.
And look at the terrorist workstation.
Chemicals splayed around. And different electronics. This is again a work setup.
For working to kill people.
Seats, just very unkempt in here.
Oh, it's so dirty in here.
Over here, actually.
So dirty. Oh, and here's the search warrant.
Justice,
So excited.
Documents here, the search warrant and
is that
the
a can
property
opener?
that they
Oh my
recorded
God,
here. There
beans.
seems to be a lot of chemicals.
Chemicals in here.
Again. Just
Oh,
left in disarray.
it's disarrayed.
There's a bedroom back here.
Terrorists need to clean their
and
homes before they go see Allah.
What appears to be his collection of religious materials.
He's got a pretty nice spread there.
An open Quran.
He's got an open
with
Quran.
passage there,
obviously not staged.
as well as even
Obviously,
the Bible here.
The feds were in there raiding it. God knows who's in there. They're in there, but he's the one that flipped it there. Come on, this looks totally staged.
Left of me here.
He's
and
got
if we go back,
mat.
there's another bedroom here.
Another bedroom, guys. It
all
is
these belongings,
hey,
contact lenses.
It is going to be available to rent in about 30 days.
This seems to be some sort of workspace again with other chemicals here. The lights still on.
A little dirty.
Some kind of station set up here. We're not really sure
I don't know where you
what that was for. In what we can assume there's also a bedroom.
Some kind of bedroom where
see
people were planning
here.
death.
And
there's his clothing.
A sign that someone was here up until
somebody was here until they killed themselves in a terror attack
just before the New Year's holiday, saying he was done with his lease. It was
done with his lease. Lease was up, guys. The lease is up, so if you're interested,
where he would live there.
Hey, you can get a great deal on a terrorist hideout.
That's all we know so far.
Oh my God! You know what? Oh my God! That there's you know what? Guys, hey, the sale's going to be great. All right, if you're interested in a terrorist hideout in Houston or wherever that place is, hey, there's the walkthrough. God damn it, is that lunatic or not? Not only do we have people doing crazy shit, we've got the people covering it doing even crazier shit. Oh man, so. I don't know. I really thought that was super wild, and I thought you would enjoy that. That made me really die laughing. Let's see. I got a few more things to share. This one's really interesting here. This is the actual. Okay, now this press conference is interesting, and the truth is, this cat here looks like he works for the feds, right? He looks like this is the kind of guy, if Gerard Butler was arguing with that guy at the headquarters and he's like, hey man, you're not listening to me. This is what the bad guys are doing. But there's always that guy that's in charge going, you're in the way of our investigation. He totally looks like that. But anyway, I thought what he said was pretty interesting about Mr. Jabbar's Facebook.
The FBI team and our law enforcement partners here are also reviewing hundreds of hours of surveillance and other video from both the French Quarter and other locations.
There must be a lot of fucking video.
As for a timeline,
at
this point, investigators believe Jabbar picked up the rented F-150 in Houston, Texas.
Okay, picks it up in Houston, Texas.
On December 30th.
On the 30th. Well-intentioned plan.
He then drove from Houston to New Orleans on the evening of the 31st.
Okay.
And he posted several videos to an online platform proclaiming his support for ISIS.
I believe this was Facebook.
There were 5 videos posted on Jabbar's Facebook account, which are time-stamped beginning at 1:29 a.m. and the last at 3:02 a.m.
Okay.
In the first video, Jabbar explains he originally planned to harm his family and friends, but was concerned the news headlines would not focus on the, quote, war between the believers and the disbelievers.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Can you imagine being that guy's first of all, being his friend? You're not going to tell anybody you knew him. First of all. Second of all, realizing you were on his hit list, but you weren't important enough to kill. So he went for a higher value kill. What kind of a lunatic are we dealing with here? Think about that. This is a very unhinged person that was so wanting to kill. Let's be honest. If you want to kill for whatever God you worship, you're in the death cult. You're not worshiping a religion. So I know earlier I said Islamic fundamental terrorism, that's what it's called. Let's be real. ISIS, that's what they are. Okay. But it's obviously not, they're not worshiping Islam. These are not these are not real religious people. These are radical lunatics that have a screw fucking loose, that are worshiping the god of death, and they want to kill for their god of death. It's the death cult. Look, he proved it.
Quote. Additionally, he stated he had joined ISIS before this summer. He also provided a will and testament.
Well, thanks. Burn that will, motherfucker. So he joined ISIS before the summer. Not really sure what that means or on the timeline or how that's important, but that's wild, man. So he wanted, look, they want to get attention. They want to go see the god of death, wherever that god is at. He's there now. Hope they're chilling. And he's getting what he deserves because he's a monster. He was radicalized, clearly knew he was radicalized, and said, I joined ISIS. That doesn't make a lot of sense. A lot of the stuff doesn't make a lot of sense. But he was, now the Cybertruck guy, who whacked himself on accident, or maybe he didn't. The Cybertruck guy, his attack failed because he wasn't as organized, or maybe, who knows, maybe he's the fall guy. It's really tough to do these things by yourself. That's all I'm saying. It is very hard to pull these kind of attacks off by yourself in a vacuum without other people knowing. I don't know. It is interesting. What else? I've got a few more items here that I think might be of interest. Let's see here. This is interesting. Okay, so here it is. The Cybertruck bomber. His name is Matthew Livisberg, and he was a drone guy, special forces. There's photos of him on social, obviously. That's a good look when you killed yourself in a terror attack. The guy, I guess, had a fiance or something to that effect. He spent time in Germany, which is interesting. He worked on remote systems. So maybe he set the thing up to remotely drive after he dispatched himself. That's possible. The guy joined the Green Berets. Okay, so not that I'm some expert on the military, but I will say this. It is really tough to get into the Green Berets, and this guy was a tough cat. Okay, he knew what he was doing. Apparently his girlfriend or wife, she had a bunch of anti-Trump stuff on her social, but that doesn't mean anything. I really don't think, one guy gave to the Democrats $20. The other guy married somebody that was anti-Trump. I don't think it means anything. I guess somebody called his uncle. Obviously, you call the only guy that's going to pick up is the uncle. And the uncle said something like he loved Trump. You don't know. And it doesn't matter. Like, he could have loved Trump all day. That does not mean that he was inspired by conservative values to blow somebody up. That doesn't mesh. It doesn't make sense. Okay. If he's really part of the death cult, he might have said that he was down for Trump just to keep cover. These people have to keep cover. Guys that are sleepers, these are sleepers. These are guys that plan this for a long time. Both of them in the military with military experience, which is crazy. We're not talking about that as much as I think we should talk about. That's wild. We have guys trained by our military, radicalized to work against us. There's something to be said about that. So that's all I have on that. I just wanted to bring that to your attention, guys, and kind of give you my thoughts on it. Ultimately, I'll just end with this. The war on terror is now a thing again. It's going to be a thing again. This is not going to go away. There is also different things going on today in parts of the country where people are like, oh, is this a terror attack? So we're back to being in fear of this. And it is important that everyone not be in fear because the media wants that. But it's also important that you stay vigilant. You stay open. You stay open-minded to terror alerts, and you stay aware that we need to pay attention. We need to pay attention as citizens, do what we have to do, and live our lives. And that because the terrorists don't want to ultimately want us to live our lives. But we have to also understand. Oh, and I forgot to mention this: there are rumors that Cybertruck Killer was pro-Ukraine, and he was amped about the Ukraine helping the Ukrainian war against Russia. That doesn't make any sense, though, to be a motivation for an attack. We're giving the Ukraine government all of our tax money, so the guy couldn't be in essence. So those kind of things that come out about motivations and they don't make sense means that the truth is probably simpler. They're just lunatics that are radicalized by demonic style, I guess you can say, teachings or demonic messages from some higher demon power. I don't know, man. I'm just making this up as I go along. I have no words for evil, and I was not raised around evil people, and most of you weren't either. I just don't know what makes somebody's switch flip like that and they want to kill people. But look, there's a lot of mentally ill folks, and there's a lot of stressors in this world, and being in the military that long could maybe flip a switch on you. Look, the guy in the video, Jabbar, he looked like a cool cat that you'd like have lunch with. He really did look. He looked at that time. He was a nice guy. He had friends. He worked a nice gig. He was well spoken. He presented as an executive in this company on that video. He turned out to be a mass killer using a weapon of mass destruction that he created. Wild. Or he was the weapon of mass destruction. I mean, a car with explosives is a weapon of mass destruction, and he created some mass destruction. So sad stuff. So hats off to the victims, and hats off to the law enforcement. Look, there's good people out there trying to stop this. We support that, and our hearts go out to the victims. So speaking of news, I thought this was interesting. Nancy Pelosi is back, man. I don't know if you realize she was gone, but Nancy Pelosi has been in Germany for a month or something. She was on some Nancy Pelosi, let me steal more money, let me be a bank robber of taxpayer money, gambit. She was on some sort of junket, right? Doing her thing, spreading her crazy propaganda of San Francisco values, and she fell and got hurt as she fell down the stairs or something. So from what they're saying. And so she was in a German hospital and she had a hip replacement. She broke her hip. So Nancy Pelosi, she's 80 years old or something like that. Why she's even still doing this, torturing us with her presence, I'll never know. All I got to say is when I see her, I just think of 3 words: fucking term limits. That's all I got to say. But she decided on ISIS attack day, which she's clearly tone deaf, to release a video to let us all know she's coming back. Okay. She thought we were so concerned that she needed to let us know that she is coming back. And so here's Nancy's video. Here you go.
To proudly represent the people of San Francisco. Hi, it's Nancy. I'm on my way to Washington to proudly represent the people of San Francisco in Congress. I'm honored to do so, to share our San Francisco values. Thank you for giving me that honor. Hi, it's Nancy. I'm on my way to Washington.
I'm going to make you watch it again.
To proudly represent the people of San Francisco in Congress.
Woo.
I'm honored to do so, to share our San Francisco values. Thank you for giving me that honor.
Well, first of all, we didn't give you that honor, so fuck you. I'm sorry. She's done so many terrible things to this country with her lunatic values. I can't support her coming back. Can we do something? Can somebody do something about this? She warned us. Can we divert the flight back to Germany? Yeah. So somebody put her back together. So FRANKENPELOSI's back. She fell down the stairs, broke her hip. Somebody mended her. She got the old stem cells, or what? Did you know Germany is the top place to get stem cells? The top place in the world. A lot of athletes go there. You don't know that, but they do. A lot of sports stars, athletes, a lot of celebrities go there for stem cells. And Nancy Pelosi went there. Who knows? Maybe she never broke her hip and there was some other reason why she was there. Why she had a major surgery like that in another country, isn't that interesting? Now, sure, if she breaks her hip, you don't want to fly her back over. There's no point in doing that. And sure, with the money and power and prestige she has, because she makes so much money with her stock, her illegal stock insider trading, you'll never talk me out of believing that's true. She makes so much money she could fly guys over and gals over to do the surgery. But obviously, Germany has a great healthcare system, obviously cutting edge, great science over there. So somebody put Nancy back together again. She's coming back again to represent. She won again. She's representing the United States again in Congress, and it's unbelievable. So you've got her coming back. Oh my God, tough day for America. Look, if you like Nancy Pelosi, first of all, I don't understand. You tell me why. I don't know what you get out of somebody like that is becoming a billionaire off of taxpayer money, and she loves passing legislation that's obstructionist. And a lot of the stuff she's done over the years has brutalized California, bankrupted California. And because of her, we have a Gavin Newsom, who is completely one of the biggest disasters in the history of California and maybe even the United States politically. So not on board with that, but just thought I'd play that video because it was wild. Well, that's the show for today. I want to say thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I am filming this at night. Again, God bless America, and definitely, guys, be on high alert. Be on high alert. Take care of yourself. Look out for your friends and family. If you go to a public place that is in one of these large cities, just be aware. You never know. Follow me on X, Snap, IG, and Rumble. I know that was kind of a dark ending. Sorry. God bless America. Stay encouraged. How about that? Follow me on X, Snap, IG, Rumble, YouTube, Jason J. Daniel. I was in YouTube jail, but not anymore. I am streaming to YouTube right now, unless they pulled me off the air, which they pulled me they pulled me 10 days ago because they didn't like what I had posted when it came to some of the politics. But I was just reposting the news and we had a conversation. We're working it out. But if you haven't followed me on YouTube and you have a YouTube account, please follow me, because that would really help, because I am a little bit shadow banned over there. It's going to take some time for me to get out of YouTube jail, but they've allowed me to stream and post videos again. But if you like my videos and share my videos on YouTube and subscribe, it sends the algorithm a message that I have appropriate content, and appreciate that greatly. Also, if you haven't followed me on X or on Rumble, really would appreciate that as well. So that's it. Have a great night, and thank you guys. We're gonna continue to do more streams. We like to do sports. I'll be doing a sports show coming up and some interesting stuff. And thank you for your support. Really appreciate you guys a whole lot. I do want to also let you know that the Jason J. Daniels Show is produced by Hollywood Zombie Productions. Have a great night, guys.